my M41 jacket and my steel pod on, that can only mean one thing. There's another World War II gun out. And ICS coming strong from last year with the grease gun. It's come out with the Garand this year. So here it is in all its close-up glory. In the front you'll notice there's no orange tip on this because I had to remove it to do the disassembly video, which I shot before I shot this. If I shot them in sequence, it wouldn't be an issue. But it was really glued on. We've sold quite a few of these so far, and some of them it disassembles fine, but they kind of, when they super glued the plastic orange tip on, it got everywhere. So this is actually the last one we have in stock. But you know, was able to get that off. You got your barleycorn front sight. Bayonet lug. There's no Airsoft Garand bayonet. I believe it's the M1 bayonet. You know, they probably named it something like that. Could be the M3 bayonet, because I think the M4 or the M5 bayonet was for the M1 carbine. But regardless, it'll look cool there if you display it with a bayonet on it, but don't take that on the airsoft field. No sharps on the airsoft field. And here we have the stacking swivel. If you have 3 Garands, you can stack them together in a tripod formation with this swivel here in the front. It's not meant for your leather sling. Get your sling right there in the front. It's got one here in the back, and just look at it. It's like when the Death Star, the Star Destroyer goes by, it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. You know, all that. It's real wood. Smells like linseed oil. It was definitely treated, so it's not varnished. Some places said it was varnished, but it's definitely not varnished. So it'll wear and good. It'll, if your hands are grubby when you use it, it'll look even better, because then it'll get dirty in the proper spots. If not, you can just get your hands a little oily and hold it and, you know, do it that way, or any other way you like to weather things. So here in the middle, you got your functioning bolt assembly. Slides forward with a nice clank. On this side, we have what would be the bolt catch. It's the mag release. So it's actually a little tough to do when you're just kind of looking at a camera, but push the button for the bolt catch in, and the mag slides right out. We've got a couple of these where the mags are a little sticky in there, but a little bit of cleaning in the mag chamber, the mag well. Remedied that. So the original gun had a clip, you know, fed in through the top. The Marushan 8mm had a clip that actually shot out when you're done with the 8 rounds that it used, and kind of neat, but not really not that useful out in the airsoft field. So with the clip out, you can actually pull this back, push in your bolt catch, which is kind of fidgety. So you can M1 thumb yourself with this, something like that. It's very touchy. So when you're adjusting the hop, you know, I'd have a finger on this so you don't bruise yourself. And the subject of hop, that's another reason why when I set my hop up, I usually have the mag in the gun. So a little bit of a bummer that, you know, well, I guess you had to hide that somewhere. But the real guns did have a metal panel such as this. These are plastic. They hold 42 rounds. I'll take that out again so you can see it. Well, it's 42 rounds. I've noticed it doesn't fire the last 3 rounds. But yeah, so if you're adjusting the hop up, I would recommend just not even using the bolt catch and just holding back so you don't smash your finger and drop your mag, because I, you know, shoot while I'm adjusting. And rotating the lever to the left is up, hop on, and rotating to the right, hop off. So makes a nice little clank. Got a sight right here, windage and elevation. There's no elevation on the front of the sight, front sight, like more modern guns. So this one's nice and smooth compared to the M1 carbine from Marushan, and the classic Army one was very chunky to move, very stiff to move. And we have trades, U.S. rifle 30 caliber. It wasn't stamped 30-06. It was the M1 rifle 30 caliber. It's Springfield Armory, which is at this time is a place, not a company, that was owned by the U.S. government. It was made by a bunch of other different companies. They actually made them like 5 miles from here at Harrington and Richardson in Worcester. They even made the M16 there for a while before they closed. But it also has a individually serialized. Each one has their own unique serial. And the safety is right there. As always, there's no battery in doing this stuff. So, going here towards the back. There's a MOSFET in this gun. I will show you that in the takedown video because there was stuff, to be shown inside. So, and here we have the little door. This is very short, but I think it almost fits a large type battery. It's very very close on a 9.6 large type, but it's I think if you remove the fuse, because the fuse kind of sticks up and in there, you could get that in, but it says if it's a large type like 3300 milliamp, but it's just, the fuse is just getting in the way. But whatever, it is what it is. There's plenty of LiPos out there that fit in there that'll be like 3000 milliamp anyway. So and with the MOSFET, it's going to be good for that, as that will prevent wear on the trigger. If you're using I would use an 11.1. There's no need to. As the gun is semi-auto only, the rate of fire is only as fast as your finger goes. So that's it. Let's take a look at the internals of this guy. This is how you disassemble your ICS M1 Garand. Before working on it, you want to make sure you have no magazine in it. It's clear of any BBs. There's no battery in it, because otherwise you could have a bad time. So first things first, the orange flash hider. On some of them, we've been able to get it off with the flash hider intact, and some of them, they use so much glue that the flash hider we had to remove to get into the gun. We sold a few of these so far, and it seems to be a crapshoot depending on who put the glue onto the orange flash hider. If it pains you, you can paint it orange, or you don't really have to. We have to sell it that way. So, in transporting it, you should have a orange cover on it as well. But having said that, what you want to do is remove this. It's sort of a cross right there. Oh, you can see that right there. You need to use either a really big Allen or a really big Phillips, or a really big slotted screwdriver. I'm going to use a slotted because I don't have an Allen that big. This may be tight the first time you're doing it. Take off that cover and the little rod. And now we're going to remove this screw right here. This is a 3mm Allen wrench, but I've already loosened it because it's got a lot of threads. And, it'd be kind of boring just seeing threads come out of the barleycorn front sight here. You just push it over to the side. Might be a little stiff, but it's a pretty cool little sight. And then there inside here is a little 1.5 mil, 1.5mm Allen grub screw, which I don't think you need to take all the way out. And then you slide your front piece off. That was what would, if it was super glue. If you can see this one here, it was a ton of super glue, and it wouldn't slide off, so I had to remove it. So having done that, we go to the middle of the rifle. And it kind of breaks apart just like the regular one, the real one. This is also another reason you need the mag out. So you kind of pull back right here on the back of the trigger guard and go lever it up, and you pull it straight up and out. So now you can see everything is coming apart. We got nice wood. It smells awesome. It smells like linseed oil. Oop. And your foregrip. bottom gas tube. Yeah, gas tube and barrel. And we just kind of gently pull the stock off. You can see there, it's milled. I don't know if the this seems fatter than the. I've shot a real Garand, and it seems much thinner than this. So I think this was done so they could fit the motor in there, you know, because sometimes you can't have 100% realism, as I'm not even showing that towards the camera, but, you know, kind of need that to put the motor in there. So I don't know about adopting a rail stock to it, or adapting, but very nice. So now we have what looks similar to a version 7, but it's not really. It's just its closest sort of gearbox you can compare it to. It's a version 7. It's got the Turbo 3000 motor, high speed, decent torque and speed on those. Not that high speed is going to matter on this because it's it's semi-auto only. This is your actual trigger right here. I'm not actually going to take the gearbox apart. And since it is semi-auto only ICS, put a MOSFET on it. It's just a simple MOSFET, but it should prevent trigger scorching from using a LiPo or whatnot. And you got some bundles of wires there. You've seen some people that yanked on their power cord a little too hard and disconnected down here, so that's something you should be aware of. And a 30 amp mini automotive style blade fuse, which you can get at, you know, a local auto parts store, Walmart, whatever. So let's put this back down. So we got 2 Phillips screws and this little thing here on the back of the on the bottom of the operating rod. So we're going to push forward and pull him back. Remember your the little notch goes towards the top up there. It's similar to the M14, as M14 is based on this gun in real life, but I guess they carry over in Airsoft world too. So we're going to do these screws. Not going to go into the gearbox because it's be a little bit of a pain to undo everything and keep this video in a decent time. May do one in the future, I don't know, but we'll see what goes. Now that we got that disconnected, I think we can just pull the barrel forward. Do I have to take the top off first? The bolt carrier. Oop. Oh no, dead air. I'm not saying anything. Oh, wait, no, we don't need to take that off. There goes the barrel. Oh, there goes the operation rod. Snap. So, good thing it's made out of steel. But anyway, and here is the hop-up. Hop-up looks similar to the grease gun hop-up. It's different than their M4 hop-up, definitely different than that. Let's see there. Spring right there. On some of these we've noticed that they've been, there's so much grease in there that it's actually lowering FPS, so that's something. If your gun shooting like 330, it might be that your hop-up the rubber wasn't properly installed, or there's just a ton of silicone grease inside the hop-up chamber. Some of you may have noticed I didn't take out the pin, probably because it slid out of its own volition, but there is a pin that goes right here onto the barrel assembly. T-out just means I hit the side of the chrono. So we're right in between 420 and 430, little hot. Until now, your World War II American airsofting has been limited to, well, the Thompson and the Thompson from the other company, and the Thompson from the other company in the 1911. Unless you paid a lot of money and got one of the Japanese 8mm BB gas guns, which up here in New England, great in the summer. Every time else, they're really tough. Well, the new CO2 M1 carbide is a good option because it does help you with your gas efficiency in the winter. But for everyone else, there's the gun that like 99% of the GIs used in World War II and in Korea. They used this even up until the beginning of Vietnam. M1 Garand from ICS shoots about 320 to 330, $399 here, which not cheap, but the gun is high end. I mean, it's real wood, it's real metal, it's oiled instead of some cheap sort of Chinese lacquer, like colored lacquer that they put on some of the cheaper real wood guns. If you've ever gotten like a D-Boys AK, you know what I'm talking about. Sturdy build quality, the internals are great. Turbo 3000 motor. It's got good speed and good torque. The speed isn't going to really matter because it's semi-auto only, but the motor is very efficient and really good torque. M120 spring already installed in it, 8mm bearings. It's got a MOSFET already, 30 amp fuse. You can fit, just about any kind of battery in there. It was a little too small for the 9.6 large type, but the 8.4 large type did fit in when I got the fuse just right. But you can also delete the fuse. That's it's an option there. But yeah, this is a great gun for the World War II reenactor. I've tried fitting this in my 10-pocket cartridge belt. It fits pretty tight, so you can wear the proper gear with it. But yeah, if you're looking for this or any other airsoft guns from World War II up into the modern day, and we have that new APS guns in the future, stop on by to Master Hobbies. We're at 565 Main Street in Cherry Valley, Massachusetts. And find us on Facebook at facebook.com/masterhobbies.